9 games on the Monday MLB slate. Welcome to another week of First Pitch. How are we going to be betting these 9 games? That's what you're here to find out. Dan Alexander back in the driver's seat and happy to do so. Thanks for joining us. Hit that like button, subscribe, and the little bell will get you notified when we go live here, getting you the winners you know and you love. A two-man game that we're looking at today, and joining me, one of the best in the biz, 2 R's. 1L. Everybody else is worried about how are we going to bet the Jets and the 49ers. Well, shh, Steve, it's quiet time because MLB tickets are still cashing the same amount of green as NFL tickets that everyone's eyeing. But Steve, welcome in on a Monday. How was the NFL weekend for you? And as we roll here forward, what are you eyeing as we get here into some MLB action?
Well, since we got the big political debate tomorrow night, this is a tip I'll give both presidential candidates. When you don't like the question, you change the question. And I didn't like your question. So instead of asking how the NFL's going, how's it going overall, Steve? Red hot. Baseball cashed again yesterday, 21-5 run. NFL, I know you didn't see any Bears in Alaska. Unfortunately, I saw a Bear named Caleb Williams do absolutely nothing. I've shown pretty good about my Titans play. That's going to go down as probably the toughest NFL loss I have all season. And unfortunately happened in week 1. So we had a winning Saturday in college football. We did not win on Sunday in the NFL. In fact, had the Titans not blown that lead and found a way to lose, giving up less than 100 yards, we would have finished 2-2 for the week in the NFL because we cashed on Thursday. So, it's not the end of the world. But, yeah, baseball, you talk about quiet time. It really is quiet time. It hasn't been quiet for me. I've been trying to make some noise in the solo videos and everywhere else on WagerTalk TV saying don't sleep on baseball. But I used to play yesterday, and it's NFL Sunday. I know nobody cared about baseball, but it was a strong situation. The over in the San Diego Giants game, 13 runs, never in doubt. Now 21-5, 24-6, 43-19 baseball runs over the past month plus. Look, it's just a great time to pick up all sports. Get football and baseball right now at WagerTalk.com.
Yeah, and we it's a great time to buy. We got some deals that we'll throw your way, but let's get into some of these games. Already some questions getting dropped in the chat. Mark A, Brian Terry, Beast Mentality. We'll hit on yours as well. Titan CTG, Hurt, Eric D. Let's get into it, boys, and let's start off here with the Yankees game right out of the gate as they're taking on the Kansas City Royals. One of the questions we got from Mark A was asking, do you think the Cubs and the Yankees game is going over 9.5. Well, those are 2 separate games, but we will touch upon the Cubs game a little later for you. But we'll start here with the Yankees, Brady Singer and Rodon. Yeah, if we combine the 2 totals, Steve will probably definitely get over that number. But I'm wondering how you're looking to bet this one. Intriguing kind of start as both teams are really jockeying for position. It seems like both are, signed, sealed, delivered as we head towards the playoff push here with the latter part of September. But as far as where these 2 teams will land come playoff time, that's the big question. And this is a big series to help determine it, Steve. How are you looking to bet game 1 here?
Well, first of all, it probably doesn't matter where they land because we've seen with this new format the last couple of years how bad those teams that get the bye win. I think, what was it last year? Like 1-9, done and, gone and within a week. But I think the key for the Royals is holding on to this wild card spot. Maybe they can catch the Guardians. They're 2.5 behind Cleveland. They're 2.5 up in the wild card over the Twins, which is very important. I still point out that the Royals have the second best run differential in the entire American League, yet they're only second in their own division, ahead of even the Orioles. But the team that's ahead of them in run differential is the New York Yankees, who have been just smoking it this year. In fact, Yankees' second best run differential in baseball, behind, no, not the Phillies, no, not the Dodgers. The Milwaukee Brewers are ahead of everybody by about 15 runs. So it's really incredible how much Milwaukee's been under the radar. But talking about Kansas City, this is a team all year long. We talked about how great their home road splits are. They did have a winning road record about a month ago finally, but now they're a game below 500 on the road, 15 up at home. Also, you got to be a little concerned against winning teams. Kansas City just 43-47 against winning teams. Yankees 47-33 against winning teams this season. So I do think New York's the best team in the American League. Kansas City weaker on the road. Yankees just 9-11 their last 20, but the Royals just 10-10 their last 20. Neither team is really striving down the stretch here in September. I'd rather have the quality team in this game if we're going to play it. I think Rodon is worth a look. Currently minus 170, 175. Gets a little pricey. You could get plus money on the run line at plus 115. You could also split the difference and make your own minus 1 run line. That's a 90-cent difference. So it'd be about minus 130 on the -1 run line. And of course, if you can't get that at your local sports book, you can always create your own by playing half on the money line, half on the run line. If you look at Rodon's overall numbers, he's in good current form, 3.5 ERA going all the way back to the end of July. Meanwhile, Brady Singer, almost a 5 ERA since the end of July. So I think we get the better pitcher, the better overall team. Focus spot here in game one. I'd look at the Yankees. A lot of different ways to play them, but that'd be my preferred side here tonight on Monday.
Looking towards the Yankees out the gate. Hop below in the comments. Let us know what you're thinking about that game. And let us know what your best bets that you're eyeing in MLB are tonight. Do they align with what our man Steve Merril is looking at? We'll find that out here in just a few. The chat already chirping at me, though, Steve, and the dog chirping at me as well here. But yeah, so they're already chirping at me saying, I wonder if Dan's going to avoid the Phillies here today. The Phils got absolutely rolled by the Marlins. I don't avoid anything. I'm always down to talk some Phils here. Sanchez and Sulcer going in this one, Steve. And the price says the Phillies are going to bounce back. Does it happen, though? We'll find out. What do you say, Steve?
Well, I just mentioned how the Yankees below 500 their last 20, the Royals 10-10. A lot of these contending teams are going to kind of mail it in here over the stretch, but the Phillies are actually 12-8 their last 20. They're 7-3 their last 10. They're playing decent baseball. Tampa's an interesting team to talk about, though, because definitely afraid that they might toss the towel in the season, but they've won 4 of their last 6. Still just 9-11 their last 20. Yes, Phillies off the back-to-back losses to Miami, but keep in mind they won those first 2 games on Thursday and Friday by a combined score of 21-4. 9-5 loss Saturday, not good. The 10-1 loss yesterday, not pretty, but if anything, I think that's a wake-up call. I'd much rather have the better team Philly here at home in game one in a focus spot, especially after back-to-back bad losses. I don't think anything is fundamentally broken with this team. They're just kind of in cruise control mode here for the final month of the season. This is very similar to that Yankee game as we're getting a pretty hefty money line, -195. If you do take the run line, you're getting it down to plus money, plus +05. I think that's probably the best option in this game is Philly's run line with Sanchez.
Yeah, and the chat pointing out that Sanchez at home is a completely different beast of what you're looking at there. So yes, could the Phillies bounce back? Sure. And we're looking for a potential there. Hop below in the comments. Let us know what games you're looking at. I already see we got some football questions. Yes, we know it is football season, but if you want some of those answered, definitely check out WagerTalk today. Less than 45 minutes from now, they're going to be breaking down the full card for Monday Night Football and opening line report right around the corner as well, getting you ready to go for week 2. Bell, we do appreciate it. And I don't know, we might even play a little wrestling music because coming from the top rope, joining us here on the show, we got Drew Martin in the house. Drew, doesn't matter if we get you late, if we get you early. We just want to get Drew Martin here on the show. So appreciate you, brother. Thanks for joining us here for a Monday edition. So what's better than a 2-man game? The 3-man game here. We maybe could be a triple in the next feature of the Olympic basketball of the 3 there. We'll run the 3-man game. No one will be able to stop us. But Drew, happy to see you, brother. The game that you have eyed here out of the gate before we roll with some questions here in the chat as they continue to chirp me about the Phils. Welcome back to me. Angels and Minnesota. We talked about, jockeying for playoff position when we were talking Yankees and KC, and you're going to give a thought coming up on that one in best bets as well. But as far as this game's concerned, this is just a massive home game stand that opens up tonight. They're going to be hanging out at home for 6 games. It starts off with the 3-game set here with the A's. How are you looking to bet this one, side or total standing out to you in this one, Drew?
Dan, I'm actually attacking this total, man. I like both pitchers. I have them both circled as bet on right now, and we get an 8 and a hook. Actually, some of them have been taken out right now. So a couple reasons why both teams are kind of trending towards the under, and we get Reed Detmers going for the Halos. This guy, he did a 90-day stint on the IL, and he came back for 1 start. And as a sports bettor, I love finding change and going from that point forward. And sure enough, his 1 start back, he went 6 innings, giving up only 3 hits with 10 strikeouts against the LA Dodgers, one of the best lineups in baseball. So I have him as look to bet on by all means. And he's up against David Festa here for the Twins. And this guy's been absolutely money. In his first two starts in the show, he got knocked around. But since the 4th of July, Dan, he's got a 3 flat ERA, a 3 flat FIP, a 50-12 strikeout to walk ratio. So both of these two starters are hot right now. We know that Minnesota Twins bullpen has been lights out. And then you combined it with both lineups, bottom 5 over the last 2 weeks by weighted runs created plus MLB. So two ice cold lineups. Add on top of it, the Twins 4 straight unders. The Angels have been trending to the under as well. We get a pretty sizable total. It's mostly 8 flat, but still I like it to the under here, Dan. So yeah, Angels and Twins. Let's bet it under.
Looking towards the under. Hop below in the comments and let us know if you agree or any unders that you might see on the board for you in some Monday MLB action. Going to hit O's and Red Sox coming up here in just a few for our man Eric D, who has the O's money line as a part of what looks like a 3-team parlay for him. So ED, we'll see what the guys think about that one. But first, Steve, I want to get your thoughts here. Boss429 checking in. Hey, fellas, how about the under, as we're talking an under there in the Twins game, with the Cleveland Guardians taking on the Chicago White Sox? 33-1-1-1 is what the White Sox will start off this week with. Can they get to 120? It's the race to get there, Steve. And they picked a good starting pitcher to get there with Nastrini, who hasn't gotten a win result in efforts here, of which there have been several to draw on. He's opposing another starting pitcher looking for his first win, and that's Cantillo in this Guardians and White Sox game. So looking towards an under in that, maybe asking the bats to go a bit silent here. 8.5 is the number that we're seeing. What do you think in that one, Steve?
Yeah, and the pitcher basically just announced, I think, because if you looked, WagerTalk live odds earlier today had undecided, which is probably the best chance for Chicago to win, is to have Mr. Undecided pitch, to be honest. This is a team that's 3-17 their last 20. I mean, anybody thinks they don't care about, not setting the worst fertility record ever in modern baseball. Doesn't seem to be the case. 33-111, 3-17 their last 20. The Mets went 40-120 back in 1961 or 62, whenever it was. And of course, that was a 160-game season. But since 1901, that's the most losses in baseball. The White Sox are definitely on a pace to lose more than that. I said about a month ago, at their current win percentage of like 24%, they're on a pace to lose about 123. Now they're at 23%. So it's like 124. And it doesn't look like they care. So it's a pure fade. I know it seems simple, but they've continued to flounder after wins too. And keep in mind, they had a rare win last Wednesday, 8-1 against the Orioles. Lost the next 2 games against Boston by 2 runs each, and then they did beat Boston 7-2 yesterday. Sure, it could happen, but I wouldn't play the momentum angle because we have seen no momentum from the White Sox all season. But their offense is hitting the ball better. They've scored now 5 runs or more in 3 of those last 4 games. So that is a little bit of an upside, which would probably, keep me off the under maybe for that reason. And also think, hey, maybe Chicago could win back-to-back games, but they're the epitome of a falling knife and not a team that's shown any kind of life this season.
Yeah, that's for sure. I don't know if you're rushing to bet that squad. That's for damn sure, but potentially playing a total in that one. Hop below in the comments and let us know how you would look to bet it. All right, Drew, let's get back to that game that our man Eric D brought up. He was looking at the Phils at 1.5. He was looking at Miami taking the 1.5. We'll touch upon that game in a little bit for you too, Eric D, as we got a short slate here today, maybe trying to assuage some of the pain from what the Marlins did to them over the weekend. But the piece that really stood out to me was looking towards the O's, because both of these teams in this series with the Orioles and the Red Sox, as they're opening up the final time that they'll meet this season, at least until playoffs potentially. But as far as you're looking at this game, both of these teams kind of reeling a little bit, especially in the case of the O's, just the way that they ended what was a 6-game homestand for them, back-to-back losses, another shutout loss for them. So really the story for the O's latter half of the season has been offensive inconsistency and kind of falling asleep at the worst time. So who do you think could potentially be primed for the bounce back? The team who's 20 games over 500, or the one who keeps flip-flopping around that 500 mark with the Boston Red Sox?
I like the way you teed that up, Dan, and I'll go with your 20 game over 500 side. I think Baltimore's the side here. The lefty Pavich on the hill, the 24-year-old out of Nebraska. By the way, the Cornhuskers looking good in college football. But Pavich, 7 1/3 innings, blanking the White Sox his last time out, racking up 10 strikeouts. He's a guy I'm looking to bet on. Add on the fact that up against the Red Sox, he went 6 1/3 his last time facing them, just giving up 2 earned runs, having a 6-0 strikeout to walk ratio. So great pass performance there. He's up against Brian Bayo here, who over the last couple of years has been a great pitcher for Boston. This season, not so much. I mean, he's got near, a 5 ERA for the 25-year-old Dominican-born pitcher. He just gave up 4 earned runs his last time out facing the Mets. They lost 2 of the last 3 times he's taken the bump. And then to your point, yes, the Orioles, they did drop the last 2, but at the same time, I mean, the Red Sox are just 2-6 their last 8. Yep. And that includes a 3-game series against the White Sox. So it's not like they're playing great baseball. In fact, if you go over the last 2 weeks by weighted runs created plus, they're a bottom 3 lineup. So they've been mighty quiet offensively. And we know the Orioles overall, their lineup, one of the top lineups across baseball. They've smashed righties as well. I think the Orioles is the side. I actually jumped on them at this plus 105 price tag. So risk 100 to win 105. I think it's wrong team favored here, Dan. I like the O's.
WTF special, a wrong team favored alert coming here for our man Drew Martin. Steve, best bets are coming up here in just a few. We're going to get back and get Drew's thoughts on that Yankees and KC game. You're going to talk Cubs and Dodgers, but it is Skenes Day, 6:40 start, and those Marlins, I'm hoping that they get shut down here a little bit from Skenes. Maybe a day late, but we don't have to go there. Marlins and Pirates, Bellozo and Skenes. Look, you've had a great read on how you maybe attack this team. Is it just blindly backing Skenes? Is it looking to fade them off of it? So it's something that you've followed pretty well here outside of us just being baseball fans and loving seeing the electric stuff out of the Rook with the great stash. That is for sure. So on Skenes Day, we got to talk M's and Pirates, and one of the ones that we brought up here was Eric D thinking that the Marlins stay hot and get to Skenes a little bit. He's taken the 1.5. What do you think about this? Because the price, it ain't a money line back in the Pirates full game kind of day. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, part of this current 21-5 baseball best bet run at WagerTalk.com for me involved Skenes in his last start. Where was it at? Chicago, I believe, last Tuesday on the 3rd, and it was a 5-0 win, and he was very reasonably priced. I think that's the game he was like minus $1.17 or something. So it's a big difference here now when he's minus 260, but he's the real deal. I wasn't even sure he'd be pitching this late into September, and that's why, Jackson Merril, no relation, 2 R's, 2 L's, unfortunately, was the favorite in some markets recently to be Rookie of the Year. For the Padres, because people weren't sure Skenes was going to keep pitching, but he is in the rotation still. Is the guy that's always on a pitch count. They basically don't let him go over 100 pitches. In fact, if you look over his last 7 starts, 101, 100, 100 in 3 of those games, in the 80s and 90s in the other ones. He's been pulled with 2 no-hitters this season around the 6th, 7th inning, but they still have him out there because he is dominant. 2.1 ERA of the season. Last 7 starts, 2.5, so he hasn't really faltered too much. Teams have not figured him out yet, and I just don't think Miami's going to figure him out either. Now, Marlins do have some offensive momentum, as we talked about, that 19 runs the last 2 games against Philly. Now they travel without rest, but it's Skenes or pass for me, but the price is definitely hefty, obviously, at minus 260. Would have to get it down on the run line, minus 1.5, minus 125. Pirates looking over their last 5 wins over their last 10 games. They've gone 5-5. Their last 5 wins have all come by 2 runs or more, though. So I think that's probably the best way to attack it.
Steve Merril, WT.buzz/SM. His best bet is coming up here in just a few. Let us know in the comments what yours is. While you're hanging out down there, hit the like button and subscribe. If you're watching us on TikTok, Instagram, X, hit that follow button. Share us there in the timeline. We would appreciate it. Drew, let's hit one more here. Let's head towards the top of the card here. First, interesting thing about this series kicking off was yesterday, Atlanta was all about the Reds. Yes, please beat the Mets. Help us out on this playoff push. And now, friends, are back to being foes here as they open up another set here. So I'm wondering for you, do the Braves kind of be able to capitalize on what the Reds set up for them, or do the Reds continue a little bit of giant slaying as they're, about 6 games under 500 here? Anything stand out to you in this game total side? What stands out to you, Braves and Reds?
If you need something, I would jump on the Bravos, Dan. To tell you the truth, though, like nothing really kind of popped out at me in terms of the pitching matchup and the price. I do have a little something just quickly on what you were talking about with Merril, with Paul Skenes on the hill. And I actually like his strikeout prop to the over, Dan. We can get it 6.5 minus 150, or you can kind of go the opposite, or not the opposite way, but another way, bet it on over 7 and get near the plus price. And part of the reason is because the Marlins lineup, they've been striking out a bunch. They're a top 5 strikeout percentage team since the start of September. And we know Paul Skenes, Merril talked about, his pitch count is pretty much at 100. That's what it is. I call it a soft 100. A couple times he's gone like 101 or 102. But really, I mean, he's been racking up the strikeouts, and he just went back-to-back against the Chicago Cubs, which is now the 4th time seeing the Cubs, and he still got 6 strikeouts. So now going up against the Marlins team that strikes out the way that they do, I actually like Paul Skenes up into over 6.5 strikeouts tonight. So I'd throw that one out there, Dan.
Love the look there. Yeah, nothing jumped off the page at me either in that Braves game. But hey, anytime we're looking at some Skenes overs, you can probably get me in the chat on board in that one. Hop below in the comments. Let us know what you're thinking if you do have any leans for Reds and Braves. But let's talk about some games that the guys do have some actionable info for. Best bets. Thanks for hanging out with us here. So Steve, let's give the folks what they've been waiting for. Cubs and Dodgers, 10-10 is the start in this one. Steve, remind people what you have up as we head through football season with baseball right here, cashing in the background. Let them know what you have over at WagerTalk and let us know how we're betting the late night special.
Yeah, it's football season. Everyone's excited about football, and they should be. In fact, the last 2 years combined, nobody's won more ATS profits in college and pro football combined than I have at WagerTalk. But let's not sleep on baseball. On a mere 21-5 MLB run, including another easy over winner yesterday afternoon. I should say last night. It was really yesterday afternoon on Sunday with that Padres-Giants game. So now on a 21-5 baseball hot streak as we head into Monday. 24-6 the last 30, 43-19, even longer term. Football's here. Football's a great moneymaker, but baseball is as well. So pick up an all sports, all access right now. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. And by the way, I do have Big Daddy Special, which also gets college and pro basketball, which starts in about a month for just $3 a day, about $1.50 per play. It's an instant $800 discount. So if you're looking to take a long-term investment approach, check out the one-year special. Use promo code SM365. You get it down below $3 a day for all sports, all access. All right, let's look at a free play in the late game tonight between the Cubs and Dodgers. We've got Buehler on the mound for the Dodgers, Hendricks for the Cubs. Dodgers, really good baseball team. I mean, everyone thought they would just run away with the regular season, have the best record in all of baseball. For most of the years, they were trailing the Phillies, the Guardians, the Yankees, some other teams for most wins. Well, lo and behold, here we are about a month out of the playoffs, and the Dodgers at 86 wins have the most in baseball. They actually don't have the best run differential, though. They're only 3rd behind the Yankees and Brewers. Still a very good team, though. And I think whenever you're looking at the Dodgers, this is something I talked about for years. If you're going to play them, you play the minus 1.5 run line. If you're going to play them to lose, you play them to lose outright and take the other team as a dog. And that continues to work. Dodgers 3-game series against Cleveland. They lost outright on Friday, and then they won by 5 and 4-run margins. Before that, they lost to the Angels, but they beat them by 4 the game before that. Against Arizona, they lost outright. They won by 5 runs and 2 runs. They did have a 1-run win 9 games ago. But the point is, when they win by margin. It makes sense because they're a good offensive team and they can cover that run line. And we get a substantial discount tonight with Buehler going from minus 180, minus 185, all the way down to plus money at minus 1.5, plus 0.5 on the run line. So let's take maybe still the best team in baseball. Good starting pitcher on the mound here. Buehler is not in good current form, but he's a veteran. I still consider him a decent starting pitcher. And Hendricks is not in good current form. I do not consider him a good starting pitcher. So 2 guys that have really struggled. They both have ERAs over 6 over the past month. But I trust Buehler more, and I definitely trust the Dodger offense more. And when they win, it's usually by margin. So let's get the more reasonable plus money price Dodgers -1.5 +05 tonight. Late night Monday, 10 o'clock Eastern. And don't forget, now in a 21-5 baseball best bet run. Don't sleep on baseball, even though football is here. Get my daily best bets for Monday or get a direct all sports subscription and save big with promo code SM365. Gets it down to just about $1.50 per play for the next year. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com.
SM365. Check that out over at Steve's page there. And yeah, it's rare you talk about like a hold your nose special and have the Dodgers in the same breath. But yeah, with how this starting pitching has been in recent form, I could kind of find it falling into that moniker for you. But looking towards the Dodgers, the best bet for our man Steve Merril. Drew Martin, you got the opening line report coming folks' ways alongside Teddy Cover later today. So definitely check us out here. Hit that subscribe button. You'll get notified when those guys go live, getting you on the right side of some of these line moves in the NFL. So that's what you have up later today. Already up on some deeper dives in MLB action for Drew. More reasons than ever to hit that little bell. But we'll circle back to a game that we started the show with and see if the thoughts align for you and one Steve Merril. It's the Yankees and the Kansas City Royals. Steve was thinking, hey, this looks like a lay it or don't play it type situation looking towards the Yankees. You agree with that assessment? And how are you looking to bet this one, Drew?
Well, Dan, I mean, Steve Merril's 21-5? Absolutely. I agree with that assessment, my man. Good to hear I'm lining up with my friend Steve Merril. And I actually laid the -1 line with the Bronx Bombers here. Carlos Rodon on the hill, the 31-year-old out of NC State, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 11 strikeouts his last time out against the Rangers. The last time the Yankees and the Royals played each other, the Yanks won 3 of 4 back in June, and they outscored them 28-12 in the series. Now he's up against Brady Singer here. Not bad numbers, but against the Yankees, his last time against the Bronx Bombers, he gave up 7 runs in just 5 innings of work. So all of those kind of lining up to the Yankees being the side, and then you add on the fact the number 1 overall lineup, the number 1 lineup against righties. I'm going to lay the 1 line here with the Yankees, guys. I don't like laying the 1.5 at home, but -1, it gets the number down a little bit because I also don't like laying the 85 cents either. I just find it a little bit too expensive, Dan. So yeah, Yankees -1 for me. I also got the 4% big bet. I'm trying to keep up with Steve Merril in that 21-5. I'm 8-2 my last 10 baseball plays there, Dan, and also got a 4% Series Del Rey ticket in the Mexican Baseball World Series going tonight. So you can get that for half off as well at WagerTalk.com. So Dan, thanks for having me. Steve, always good seeing you as well, my man. Let's cash some tickets.
Yeah, we'll all see each other at the cash counter. Absolutely. Yeah, guys, if it's quiet time in MLB, it's definitely quiet time in some Mexican League baseball. So I really like that look, Drew. I'm going to have to go check that out over your page. That's for damn sure. Don't just think it's only the Jets and the Niners going tonight. No, we got some other winners across other sports for you as well. WT.buzz/DM is where you can get that best bet rocking right now. Definitely go and check that out. Folks, appreciate you tuning in here on a Monday. We'll be back locked and loaded 8 a.m. Eastern on the Pacific side and 11 a.m. there on the East Coast. That's where we are. First pitch each and every day through the regular season. Hopefully getting you some winners here. It's the Dodgers taking on the Cubs. Lay it with them, says Steve Merril. Get that -1. And for Drew, he's looking to do the same with the Yankees. That's the best bet for the guys today. Don't go anywhere, though, folks. Under half an hour away. Andy Lang, 2 player props for Monday Night Football. Brian Power with a college football look ahead and a breakdown on the Twins and the Angels. And Jesse Shule stopping by for an NFL Week 2 play. And he's going to break down the Red Sox game alongside Teddy Covers and the Prez. So don't go anywhere, folks. Wager Talk today coming your way in less than 30. Best of luck, folks, until we see you next time. Cash those tickets, and we'll see you back here on Wager Talk TV.